Good day everyone. Today we have the 2025 Toyota GR86. This is going to be a full in-depth review of the interior, exterior, and engine details of the new GR86. And once again, this is PatrickReyesTV. Let's go and start. Now, with a key fob around the vehicle, you could lock and unlock the doors with this door handle right here. And you see two lines on the door handle. Once you touch this, it's locked. And just wait a second and put your hand behind the handle and it automatically unlocks. Now, on the inside, you have an Alcantara finish on the door sidings, as you can see, and soft touch materials right over here, and your leather inserts on the grab handle. Step sill right here and your side skirts. And on the seats, you have perforated leather. And you have manual seat recliners, height adjustment, and your seat position control right on the middle. Now with the key fob inside the vehicle, you could start the accessories with this button right here. And it's now in accessory mode, as you can see. Head unit turns on. And once more for ignition. And to start the engine, just put your foot in the brake and push the button to start. There you go. So, before we go and check out the interior, let's go and check out the exterior first by turning on the headlights. You have auto mode as well, fog lights, and rear fog lights. And of course, don't forget the hazards. Now, both windows are fully automatic, as you can see right here. The second generation Toyota 86 is here and is now known as the GR86. For the enthusiasts, this 86 is the third generation of its kind. The reason for that is that the original first generation 86 was a Toyota Corolla.
They don't believe anything you tell them about cars.
Absolutely not.
They don't believe you can get a real sporty car that's affordable. Then we show them the Toyota Corolla Sport Liftback, the real sporty car that's truly affordable.
Now, the Toyota AE86 Corolla was a special car for many enthusiasts in the world, not only because it was the protagonist's car of the famous initial D anime series wherein drifting and racing was highlighted. Yes, if you didn't know yet, the AE86 Corolla back then were rear-wheel drive and they were really very fun to drive. With the anime series and the car scene building a cult for fun, affordable rear-wheel drive, the Toyota AE86 really marked as an icon. Sadly, Toyota never really made an affordable rear-wheel drive car again after the AE86, not until 30 years after. Finally, Toyota listened to its consumers and decided to bring back the fun Toyotas we know from the 80s and 90s. And there, the GT86 was born. It was affordable, it was economic, it was lightweight. Sure, it isn't powerful, but it was a lot of fun to drive. With the Toyota GT86 becoming very successful, the enthusiasts wanted more power, some even wanting a turbocharged 86 for the future models. Toyota, of course, didn't do that. Not because they can't, but the Toyota 86 was never really marketed to be a powerful sports car you want. It was always marketed to be a lightweight, affordable, fun car. Adding turbos and extreme power would take off the position of the 86 as the affordable sports car. Now with the GR86, engine has been upgraded and gives a little more power than the previous generation. What's really good about the GR86 is that almost all performance parts are still applicable from the GT86. It's a true enthusiast's car. The front fascia of the new GR86 has been controversial as it became slightly less aggressive looking than the previous model. It has brand new headlights that has auto leveling projector, LED turn signals, and LED daytime running lights. The grille has massive opening for better cooling of the engine. On the rear, it has new LED taillights that reminds me of a 2014 Civic, or much more closer is the taillight of the 2024 Subaru WRX. Above the trunk is the deck lid spoiler with your third brake light embedded onto it. On the side, you'll notice that the overall shape is still heavily influenced by the GT86. It still has that long hood and curves through the back with aerodynamic lines. Overall, the GR86 exterior design really caught me off guard when I first saw one, but seeing more of this every now and then makes me really appreciate its looks, and this is coming from a GT86 owner. Would I upgrade my GT86 for the GR86? Yes, of course, if I have the means. But should you buy one without any experience in a sports car? 100% yes. In the world of vehicles evolving to automated, electric, and artificiality, you might want to grab one of these while it's still available. It might be the last pure naturally aspirated gasoline engine where economy meets a fun daily drivable sports car. So, let's go and pop the hood. The Toyota GR86 comes with the new FA24 2.4-liter 4-cylinder dual overhead cam boxer engine, which produces 237 horsepower at 7,000 RPM and 250 Nm of torque at 3,700 RPM. 0 to 100 km per hour acceleration time is clocked at 6.5 seconds with a top speed rating of 226 km per hour. Fuel consumption rating is at 10.9 km per liter with a fuel tank capacity of 50 liters. So, let's give it a few revs and check how the engine sounds. Now on the inside, you're greeted with a 3-spoke steering wheel. You have the same design as the facelift model of the Toyota GT86, as you have noticed. And this one has the GR emblem right here on the bottom of the steering wheel. It is all covered in leather, and the overall size of the steering wheel is much more smaller compared to the previous model. Now in here, you have your volume controls on the left, your source button, and your accept and decline calls. And in here is for the gauge cluster, which we will tackle on later. And in here, you have your cruise control and paddle shifters right here, because this one's an automatic transmission. And on the gauge cluster, let's try looking into some of the features. So first and foremost, you have your tachometer right over here on the middle. You have water temperature and your fuel gauge outside temperature is there, and your time. So with the button on the steering wheel, you have access to different features of the gauge cluster. So first and foremost, you have the information. So you have the instantaneous liters per 100 kilometers right over there, your average, and your fuel range. And on the right, you have a meter for your G-force, and you have the right, left, braking, and acceleration. And you have the music tab as well. So whatever you're playing on the head unit will display right on the audio tab. And in here is your guidance driving. So this one has lane assist, lane departure alert, every safety feature. The GR86 has that one as well. And in here you have your trip reset, as you can see. So it has a total mileage of 7 kilometers. Now the steering wheel could also be adjusted both telescopic and tilt. And on the left hand side, you have your window controls and your door locks. Side mirror is retractable, of course. And in here, you have your adjustment for the brightness of the gauge cluster. Trunk release is in here as well. So that's it on the left side. And in here, on the center part of the vehicle, first and foremost, you have your center console, which has 2 cup holders, USB inputs, USB-A, and auxiliary. Two cup holders in here, and this one closes like so, and it would serve as your armrest as well. And you also have 1 cup holder in here, and you have heated seats on both the front seats. And in here you have traction control off, sport, snow, and your track mode. And once you press track mode, the gauge cluster automatically changes, which is more of a racing tachometer in here. And as you can see, it rises up, and it would have a rev limiter that would beep or sound or light up if you reach the rev limiter. And as you have noticed as well, it has the track mode labeled right over there. And it's now back to normal. And in here you have your 6-speed automatic transmission with, of course, manual mode. You could manually shift your gears through this lever right here, or the paddle shifters, whichever you want to use. And of course, if you also put it in reverse, the rear backup camera shows up. And it also has some guidance lines if you turn the steering wheel like so. Manual handbrake, of course, for those enthusiasts who want to, play with the car, you could always depend on the manual handbrakes. On the air conditioning controls, you have a similar design on the previous model. You still have the 3 knobs in here with the display, and you have your airplane-like controls right over here on the bottom. So first and foremost, you have the front defogger, rear defogger, different modes. So this one changes the air vents, recircular vents, and your sync button for the passenger and the driver's side temperature. And in here you have auto mode as well, on and off, AC, and max AC, which you need in the Philippines for the most part. So in here, you could adjust the temperature. So you could always defer the temperature from the passenger side and on the driver's side. So on the passenger side, you could set it at 26.5 so that your passenger will feel a little bit warmer, and when the driver's side wants to cool it down more, you could adjust that as well. So driver's side is now at 19.5 and passenger is on 26.5. But you could always sync that with just a push of a button. And now they're both in the same temperature. Now for the head unit, you have infotainment system right over here, and let's go to home button. Now on the home screen, you have the radio, the media, phone, apps, maintenance, settings, and other shortcuts you want to put out. So let's go to the radio first. Let's try listening to some music. If we could get a signal, that is. Now the speakers right off the bat really sounds good compared to the previous GT86, which is my daily car, so I could really compare to it. The speakers really do sound great on this model. The tweeter speakers on the dashboard really gives it clarity, and the vocals really pops out, and the door speakers would help on the middles and on the bass as well. Now, as you can see, the air conditioning vents have a unique design. This one is kind of plain, as you can see, but on the door sidings, or the passenger and driver sides, you have a unique circular air conditioning vents, which you could turn off or turn on with this knob right here. Now, let's go and check out the other features. So in here, in media, you have USB, Bluetooth, and iPhone or Apple CarPlay. Phone, of course, you could contact your contacts wirelessly via Bluetooth. And you have apps as well. There you go, you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, for those who are asking. Settings, well, of course, you have driver profiles, your clock, your display. Very generic. You have a list of different settings in here that you could play with. Software update is available as well. You have sound and phone. So pretty basic, nothing much going on around. And in here on the car tab, as you can see, you have the settings for the safety driving system of Toyota. You have the eyesight, keyless entry system, defogger, reverse automatic braking, and a lot more safety features that the Toyota GR86 offers. And on the maintenance tab, you have the engine oil, tires, oil filter, and this tab right here gives you a personal timeline on when to have the engine oil, the tires, the oil filter to be checked or to be serviced, which is really nice, to be honest. So I think that's about it on the head unit. Plain and simple. It has what you need, nothing too fancy, and it works really well. And I love that they put these knobs right here for easy access. I always like touchscreen systems, but please, the volume buttons, make sure to have the knobs right here. It's much more easier for, the passenger or the driver. It is much more simple to use. Now, the dashboard, as you can see, is, well, soft touch materials right here on the top, but it is plastic. You have Alcantara finish right here. Plastic materials right here on the top of the glove compartment, and some silver accents right there. And on the top, you have map lights right here, and door lights, rear view mirror, window visors, and as you can see, the GR86 is all covered in black roof sealing, which is really, which really matches the overall aesthetics of the Toyota GR86. And as you can see on the door sidings, you have bottle holder right there as well, your window control, and your arm pad right over there. So I think that's about it on the whole interior of the GR86. It's well, it's really a good update from the previous model, but nothing too big of a difference, I would say. But I really like how they really gave the dashboard a low profile for you to have a better view when you're driving. So this one also, and I would say one of the best stock seats that I have seated on. It really hugs you, but at the same time it has that comfort, you know, of driving a daily car or a daily sports car, I would say. And I really like how the seats hug you and how I fit. I am 5'9", 5'8", sorry, and the space here is really good for my size and even how big I am. As you can see, I really fit good on the GR86, and I would say the GR86 is a tad bit more wide or spacious on the inside compared to the GT86, but you will know why later on. So let's go and check out the rear seats. Now the GR86 has a 2+2 seat configuration. You have 2 seats on the back, but not advisable for adults like me. So this one has 2 seats in here, probably for your storage or some kids to sit on the back. And you have the same materials on the seats as well. Alcantara finish and perforated leather on the seats. Nothing much going on around on the back, but you have speakers on the door sidings or the sidewalls. And what's good about the new GR86 is that you could now recline the seats with this tab right here, which the GT86 didn't have on the previous model. And let's go and check out the trunk. Now the GR86 has an electric button right here, and your reverse backup camera is right there as well. And this is what I've told you earlier. The reason why the GR86 feels a little bit more spacious on the inside is because of the trunk. The trunk is a little bit too narrow compared to the GT86. And as you can see, the opening right here is a tad bit narrower than the previous model. So for those buying the GR86, you would have to take note of that. The space is a little bit smaller compared to the GT86. And one thing more is the spare tire is in here as well. You have the tools on the bottom. And if that's not enough, you could always fold down the rear seats to have more space. So that is Toyota's answer to a more spacious interior. You're sacrificing the small seats on the back, but you have more space on the back for cargo. So, I hope you enjoyed the full review of the 2025 Toyota GR86. There's a lot more to come, so please do subscribe and share and like my videos. This is PatrickReyesTV signing out.